September 24th, 2024, regular session meeting of City Council. If you are here tonight and would like to address council, please register with staff in the lobby. Please indicate item I for matters that are germane to City Council. On our podium, we have a light system that is 3 minutes. After stating your name and address, you will see a green light. After 2 minutes, you will see a yellow light. After 3 minutes, you will see a red light. At that time, please take your seat. Written remarks may be handed to the city clerk to be made a part of the record. The city code identifies the procedure for participation regarding items on tonight's agenda and provides the opportunity for citizens to address City Council on matters that are germane to council. Matters that are germane to council means that the City Council by law is empowered to act upon. Copies of this ordinance regarding participation can be found at the desk in the lobby. At this time, please silence your phones. Prior to beginning the business portion of the meeting, Pastor Ben Caldwell with Orcutt Baptist Church will provide an invocation to the council. Afterwards, Councilman Woodbury will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. It is the practice of this council to stand for the invocation and pledge. Those who also wish to stand are welcome, but under no obligation to do so. Thank you. Is the pastor here? If not, we'll have Councilman Harris, if you don't mind.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you once again for allowing us to convene and walk into the steps that you have for our lives on today, God. We just ask that you continue to be a blessing to all of our residents here in the city of the Newport News and beyond. We ask right now for your grace, mercy, and favor upon us as we convene to do the work here of the city, that you allow us to articulate with a pure heart and pure mind and have dignified dialogue on tonight in which we could make sure we uplift every aspect of Newport News. It is in your name we pray. Amen.
Please join me in honoring our country's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I have a motion to excuse Councilwoman Vick and Councilman Ely from this meeting?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
3, 4, 5. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. Now we're going to have 2 presentations at the podium. And City Council as well. You come up as I start to read. At this time, would NNPS student John Allen Steiner and those with us today from NNPS to support John, please join City Council and I at the podium. John, we are here today to celebrate your accomplishment in debate and recognize your state championship with a proclamation. The proclamation, so I'll give you this coin, first of all, and I'll let you hold it while I read it, all right? Whereas it is with great pride that we recognize and honor the exceptional achievements of John Allen Steiner, a senior at Warwick High School and the Governor's School for Science and Technology, for his remarkable accomplishments in the field of debate. And whereas John Allen Steiner has distinguished himself as the Class 5 champion in the Lincoln Douglas debate at the Virginia High School League State Debate Championships held at JMU on April 27, 2024. This prestigious competition showcased his profound understanding of the topic, which centered on whether the primary objective of the criminal justice system should be rehabilitation. And whereas as captain, is that right? As captain of the Lincoln Douglas Division of the Warwick High School debate team, John Allen Steiner led his team to achieve the the state runner-up position overall, further showcasing his leadership and strategic acumen and his outstanding mentorship of new debate team members. And whereas John Allen Steiner's insightful, passionate, and unique approach to debate, coupled with his modest and lack of pretension, has set a high standard for his peers and serves as a source of inspiration to all. Now, therefore, I, Philip Jones, Mayor of the City of Newport News, do hereby congratulate and honor John Allen Steiner in recognition of his remarkable achievements and wish him success in all of his endeavors. Congratulations. So we have one more presentation this evening. At this time, would Chief Rogers and staff join council and I at the podium? Yep, all of you. Yep. So annually here in the city of Newport News, we recognize Fire Prevention Week. City Council would like to express our sincere gratitude to Chief Rogers and his dedicated team for their daily service to our city. I would like to read the following proclamation, which I'll have Councilman Woodbury hold. In recognition of Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the City of Newport News is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our city, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the location where people are at greatest risk from fire, and whereas home fires killed more than 3,000 people in the United States, and fire departments in the United States responded to over 250,000 house fires, and whereas roughly 3 out of the 5 fire deaths happen in homes with either no smoke alarms or no working smoke alarms, and whereas residents will make sure their smoke alarms meet the needs of all their family members, and whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire, and whereas residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes, almost done, and whereas the 2024 Fire Prevention Week theme is Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You, serves to remind us to have a working smoke alarm in your home. Now, therefore, I, Philip Jones, Mayor of the City of Newport News, proclaim October 6th through 12th as Fire Prevention Week and urge all residents of Newport News to make sure all homes have working smoke alarms and to support the many activities and efforts of our amazing fire department. Thank you all.
I wanted to mention, and I did to the chief, if you need a fire alarm, their education department, call the fire department.
We appreciate you, Councilwoman Woodbury.
Thank you.
Okay, now to public hearings. Page 3, item E1 is a request to adopt an ordinance granting conditional use permit number Charlie Uniform -2024-0006 to Eveline M. and Lakeisha P. Leaks to allow for the operation of a family day childcare facility with not more than 12 children on a .27 acre parcel located at 613 Brandywine Drive, zoned R3, single-family dwelling. At this time, are there any speakers?
Yes, sir.
I see 3 speakers.
Yes.
First will be Diane Umstead.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, and community. I'm Diane Umstead, the Executive Director of First Spark, formerly Smart Beginnings, Virginia Peninsula. We're the lead agency for Ready Regions Chesapeake Bay, which is the state's new regional approach to early childhood system coordination. We serve 16 counties and cities, strengthening the quality of child care through the Department of Ed's Measurement and Improvement System, and increasing access to affordable child care with the Mixed Delivery Preschool Program. This program is for working parents who are needing full-day, full-year care to go to school or to work. We administer $3.2 million for 422 children through sites like Amazing Child Care, and they are the only family day home, that's Ms. Leak's program, Peak Early Childhood Center, who you know is on the agenda later, and many others in Newport News. I want to thank you first for your longtime support for early childhood care and education. You've demonstrated it through budgets and neighborhood projects, community service grants, zoning and planning rules. We have to create more access for families who are working full-time. So tonight, I'm here in support of Amazing Child Care and other licensed, regulated family day homes, but I also want to talk about some high-level things that involve the investment for early care and education in our community. You know, families need choices, and they want places where their work hours are best suited and honoring their kids' learning style. So here is how we know that childcare is everybody's business. Out of the 29,340 children under 5 in our region, only 38% are entering kindergarten with key math and reading readiness skills. 35% of those kids go on to fail their 3rd grade level reading test. Of these children, 20,050 have parents who are available in the workforce. Families are spending 17% of their household income on child care, with an average cost of over $13,000, equal to paying state college tuition. Virginia has the 9th highest child care cost in the United States. And we know, too, that there are living wages for adults, but they don't meet the need. For one adult and one working adult and 2 children in Virginia, it's $87,788 in annual wages that's needed to live. But there's only $71,916 being made by this size of a family in our area. Parents can't go to work, they can't sustain their families, they can't advance their own self-sufficiency without affordable, accessible childcare. Last October, JLARC released a report that is through our state's commission about the cost of childcare, stating that it is unaffordable in Virginia for 85% of households. And the report also details the unmet need for childcare. In our region alone, there are 2.3 kids per each available childcare slot. The military, childcare subsidy, the mixed delivery program that we administer with state dollars, now have the 2nd highest waiting list in the state for families to receive care. Affordable, accessible, quality childcare is a must-have, not a nice-to-have. With these proven benefits, increased school readiness, reduced retention and special education, almost done, lifting children out of poverty, increasing family income through steady workforce participation. In short, families can't work if childcare doesn't work. If we want to recruit and retain and develop a workforce that is ready to defend our country, build our ships, and contribute to the economy, childcare is everybody's business.
Thank
Thanks
you, ma'am.
for your time.
Thank you. Next up, we'll have Lakeisha Leaks.
Good evening, Mayor Jones, council members, and community. My name is Lakeisha Leaks. I live at 613 Brandywine Drive
No, you're good. It's,
in Newport News. I am the owner and operator of Amazing Child Care and Learning Academy. We have been a licensed family day home in Newport News for the past 4 years. A little bit about myself. I'm a wife, a mother of a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. I'm a military veteran. I have a business management degree from Morgan State University and a master's degree in engineering management from George Washington University. And I'm a second-generation child care business owner. I spent most of my professional career working for engineering companies such as Johnson Controls and Lockheed Martin in business development and sales. But after having my last child, I was at a crossroads in my career and made a family decision to focus on raising my children, which opened the door to becoming a licensed child care provider. My late mother also operated a family day home for 10 years after she retired from the federal government. So I had firsthand exposure to this business. Early childhood education is more than a job for me. It's actually my purpose and my calling now. My profession as a teacher of 2 to 5-year-old students is to serve a greater mission to help nurture, inspire, and develop children during their most formative and delicate years of life. We do this through a play-based curriculum and also an approved Department of Education toddler and preschool curriculum. I am also, like Diane mentioned, the only family day home in the mixed delivery program in our area. For the past 4 years, Newport News has only been allowed to have a maximum capacity of 4 students. This is different from our neighboring cities that have had conditional use permits in effect for child care providers for decades to increase capacities and families that we serve. So for Newport News to allow the opportunity for our profession to be on par with our peers, I would like to say thank you. There are some concerns that some of my neighbors have addressed about traffic and noise that I have addressed to the best of my ability. In that, I have updated a section in my parent handbook called Traffic and Safety Guidelines for drop-off and pickup. My hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. In the parent handbook, I have asked parents to enter at the first entrance of Brandywine Drive, so all cars face the same direction in the front of the home and leave the street in the forward direction. All cars will park in front of the home on the curb, and parents can utilize the driveway not to block any neighbor's driveway and never to double park. If needed, a cone system will be implemented to strictly designate the curb parking area. Drop-off and pickup for parents is typically between 3 and 5 minutes. They're in and they're out. Parents do not stay for an extended period of time. In the handbook also, I have asked parents to abide by the speed limits, turn their radios down, to be respectful to neighbors. If speeding or parking policies are not followed and repeatedly violated, the child can be terminated from the program. As it relates to noise, the children playtime are designated between 11 and 12 p.m., 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. And since our last meeting, 2 stop signs have been installed on our street because there were so many concerns about the potential for the business to grow. So 2 stop signs have been implemented.
Thank you. Sarah Allman.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Saria Allman, and I'm a Newport News resident and parent. I'm here speaking on behalf of Lakeisha Leaks and also Amazing Child Care and Learning. Like I said, I'm a Newport News resident and parent, and for both of my children, it was extremely important for me to find a home daycare when they were infants, as opposed to them immediately going into a daycare center. And my family was very blessed to be able to find that in Gail Williams, who was Lakeisha Leaks' mother. Both of my children went to her, and my son is now 14, my daughter is 10, and I believe they're still benefiting from the time they spent with her even today. They, they went into school extremely prepared, far ahead of their peers, and they just, that initial learning that they received, they continue to soak up knowledge that same way. My daughter's in 5th grade. She's only ever made straight A's. My son excels as well. And they're not unique cases. I've met other children who thankfully have benefited as well from starting out at a family day home. And it doesn't have to be years and years and years, even just a small amount of time, being at a family day home is very, very beneficial in the development of these children. In addition to my children benefiting from a family day home, I also had a point of time where there was a 3-year-old family member that lived with me, and thankfully I was able to go to Lakeisha at that time to provide a family day home setting for the 3-year-old. And almost immediately you could see beneficial changes and improvements in his speaking, in his behavior, in his potty training, all kinds of things. It was just like you could see the growth almost immediately. So I just wanted to say that family day homes like Amazing Learning Child Care are very much needed, not just for Newport News, but for everyone. And I think it's something that all of our children need in order to thrive, at least to have the option for that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Councilman Jones, Mayor Jones,
Sorry.
Mayor Jones,
Oh, 4. Can you move the mic? It's hard to hear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried 5-0.
Motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I do.
Councilman Long.
I would like to say this is the first family day home provider that's brought forth an application since we just changed the ordinance early this year. And I think this is what we need to start seeing is more opportunity and availability for family day homes, which is a home daycare in a person's home. More opportunities for parents, because one of the needs I've heard over and over again is we need to continue increasing the capacity of child care providers, not just in the commercial building, but in the home setting. So do thank Ms. Leaks for bringing forth this application. And hopefully this will be a model for Planning Commission or Planning Department to use to develop more family day homes here in the city of Newport News.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. Page 39. Item E2 is a request to adopt an ordinance granting conditional use permit Charlotte Uniform -2024-0007 to 7-Eleven Brick Kiln LLC and the Main Event LLC to allow for the operation of a banquet hall, 1,754 square feet, Suite E2 on a 2.05 acre parcel located at 7-Eleven Brick Kiln Boulevard, Zone C1 Retail Commercial. At this time, are there any speakers?
No, sir.
Motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried 5-0.
Motion to adopt the ordinance.
Move adopts.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
and Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried 5-0.
Consent agenda. Item F contains the following items. Page 67, minutes of the work session, September 10th, 2024. Page 145, regular meeting, September 10th, 2024. And page 168, a resolution expressing the approval of the Newport News City Council for the state fiscal year 2024 and year 2025 for the Hampton Newport News Community Service Board performance contract renewal and revisions. Motion to approve consent agenda item F1 through F3, all inclusive.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, other city council actions, page 321, item G1, Mr. Manager.
Yes, item G1 is a request to approve a resolution authorizing and directing the city manager to execute a license agreement between the City of Newport News and Downtown Hampton Child Care Council, Incorporated, operating as Peak Childhood Center for the use of the of the Newport News Early Childhood Education Center. The agreement grants Peak Childhood Center non-exclusive access to the facility, including the playground, outdoor areas, and parking lot. This partnership aims to provide child care for up to 200 children with a sliding scale tuition to accommodate various financial situations, and I recommend approval.
Thank you. At this time, are there any speakers? I see there's one for questions only. City Council, at this time, are there any questions? Okay. Motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. And thank you, Jennifer, as well, for coming. Appropriations, page 336, item H, Mr. Manager.
Item H1 is a request to approve a resolution appropriating $111,844.38 of interest earned in fiscal year 2024 from the Herbert Nesser bequest to Department of Libraries and Information Services for the Main Street Library. The proposed allocations include funding for ongoing projects such as the Say It Loud project, the Old Dominion Land Company Map Conservation Project, and programming for both adults and youth. Additionally, support is recommended for the Nesser Speaker Series. I recommend approval of the appropriation.
At this time, are there any speakers?
No, sir.
Motion to approve item H1.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is going to be citizen comments, item I, on matters germane to City Council. I will call each name in the order it appears in front of me. We have about 20 speakers, so can we just be mindful of the time and the red beeper? Thank you. First up will be Anita Leonard.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Anita Rice Leonard, and I have lived on Corbin Lake for 19 years. As a member of the Corbin Lake Association, I would like to introduce you to our 7-acre lake. There's a picture. Created around 1957, Corbin Lake is in the Hydenwood section of Newport News, located between Hyden Boulevard and Garland Drive. Corbin Drive is at the northwest end, and Booth Road is at the east end. There are only 32 properties around the lake, St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, and 31 private homes. Each property line goes out to the center of the lake so that the lake is literally part of the homeowner's backyard. There are a couple of current homeowners who not only grew up here, but raised their families on the lake and have memories of swimming and fishing in the clear fresh water of the lake. Those days are long gone. Even though Corbin Lake is a small neighborhood lake, it has been made a very important part of the city's municipal separate stormwater system, MS4. Water from over 200 surrounding acres has been rerouted by the city to flow into our backyards. Located on these 200-plus acres are 201 private homes, 21 commercial properties in the Hydenwood Shopping Center, including a state ABC store, Federal Post Office, Food Lion, and several restaurants and other businesses. 4 C&U buildings and parking lots between Hyden Boulevard and Prince Drew Road. Bojangles and self-storage on Warwick Boulevard have ditches that route into Corbin Lake. 7 City of Newport News buildings, including Gildersleeve Middle School, Todd Stadium and the parking lots, Newport News Landscaping Services, Newport News Public School Admin Building, Fire Station Number 10, and Newport News TV buildings all flow into the pond at Gildersleeve, and that flows into our lake. Corbin Lake is supposed to be a private lake, and as a result, the 32 homeowners are individually taxed on the property. We want to be good stewards of the environment, the waterway, and the wildlife that live here. However, we feel that problems have developed as a direct result of being part of the city's stormwater system, and therefore well beyond the control of the 32 property owners. It is our hope that the city will assist in restoring Corbin Lake to its former condition, and that we could work together to keep this lake and others like it healthier. Thank you for listening. Each council member has a packet of information with that information all on it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks. And we have more speakers.
Yeah, no worries. Donna Grubbs.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor Jones, Vice Mayor Bethany, distinguished council members. I'm Donna Grubbs, past president of the Newport News Coalition, the Newport News Neighborhood Watch Coalition, and currently I'm the North District rep. I'd like to personally invite each of you to our Neighborhood Watch Coalition Conference that's coming up Saturday, October the 19th. It will be held at the Holiday Inn at 980 Almy Boulevard from 9 to 1, and we'd love to see you there. I'd like to also share with you that, as I know, violent crime is actually down this year in the city from previous years. There have been a couple of incidents recently, violent crimes against teenagers who have lost their lives, that have greatly impacted our community. And I come to you and the rest of the citizens that are here tonight and those that are your constituents, and I ask that we all come together, that we work together as neighbors, form more neighborhood watch coalitions, form more neighborhood watch groups who can join the coalition, and that if we can't do that, we say something if we see something. If we know something, we say something. We work with our police department to bring this under control. It's not going to get better unless neighbors work with our city council, with our Newport News Police Department, and we come together in a united front against this violence. I spent the better part of a Friday night a few weeks ago sitting on a bench outside of Riverside Hospital emergency room. I had a friend who was there, and I couldn't get to her because of another violent crime incident that had occurred, and the hospital was locked down. I sat on that bench until 3 a.m., until she was released and could come outside and I could take her home. This isn't the city that I grew up in. And I want us to go back to that time where neighbors cared about other neighbors. So I just implore you to please come to the coalition conference and please speak to your constituents. We would love for them to join us with Newport News Neighborhood Watch. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think Councilman Long has something.
What does a neighborhood have to do in order to create a neighborhood watch?
Okay.
Where's that information at? Is it like?
You can get the information by going to cyod@nnva.gov. You can also call the number 757-975-5100. That's to the community youth section of the Newport News Police Department. So they would love to speak to you. I would love to work with any neighbors that would like to start a new neighborhood watch. There is funding available. Newport News graciously gives us a grant every year, and we do many grants for neighborhood watches, up to $500 per neighborhood watch, to assist them with what they do. So we would love for them to join us.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Megan Adams.
No, thank you. Yeah.
And then after Megan Adams will be Giovanni Jackson and then Joy Johnson.
Hi, everybody. My name's Megan Adams, and I live at 219 Hilton Terrace. Tonight, I'm here to speak on behalf of two property owners. One is 10228 Warwick Boulevard. The other one is 10230 Warwick Boulevard. That area of Hilton Village, the northbound side of the 10200 block, has been the site of many car crashes over the decades. Back in August of 2021, a tenant, after 2 really bad accidents happened there, came to council to ask for help. At that time, Dr. Woodbury said she had tried to work with engineering for quite some time to get that corrected. The city manager said that they would work with engineering and present to council. 7 months later, they did in February of 2022. Sherry Early, the director of engineering at the time, presented to council the traffic analysis and also 3 proposals to put up permanent barriers in that area. Since that time, the neighborhood and the property owners haven't heard anything. Since then, there are new property owners. This is the first page of the handout. So this just happened on September 2nd. This is the 3rd time this house has been hit since 2017. And the homeowners had no idea this history was here and that this happens repeatedly. This happened on September 2nd. On September 3rd, a codes violation was triggered. They received a letter on the 12th via mail saying that they had 30 days to demolish the property or get the repairs finished. They could appeal it for a fee of $300. So they don't know anything about the history, and I know all the history. So what I'm here today for is to ask you guys if we could put that same 30-day pressure on the Department of Engineering and City Management to come up with any idea. We don't care what it is. Could we come up with a temporary solution to protect these homes? And if these homeowners could be offered some grace from the codes department, it would be greatly appreciated. Their contact information is on the last page, and they'd like to hear from anybody, our councilman or the Department of Engineering, with some progress on the plan.
Dr. Woodbury, which one?
Well, I wanted to say that, they look like planters, but they was what the city manager at the time had installed all along that area. And that was supposed to stop any vehicle because they were that reinforced. It looks like a planter, but it's not really. It is a deterrent. Yes. So I don't know how that car got through or whether it's...
Well, the planters that are present there aren't crash rated, and at the time...
They were supposed to be.
Well, they're not there, and I was part of a neighborhood organization that actually put in some very large planters that we purchased out of pocket that are filled with water, about 800 pounds of water, to try to do something. But there have been no planters placed in those areas. I mean, we've lost the light poles. I mean, many trees.
We have it for action. We'll have engineering can talk to you right after this, and we'll have it for action.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll do Giovanni Jackson, then Joy Johnson, then William Brown.
Good evening, City Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We appreciate the opportunity to speak before you today. We, the Mayor's Youth Commission, a group of young individuals that are focused on the future of our community. Today, we come to you with heavy hearts and an urgent concern about the future and surge of gun violence that has impacted our city. As young people, we are acutely aware of the situation and the environment that we inhabit. Each headline about gun violence sends a shockwave through our schools and our neighborhoods. These incidents are not just statistics. They are our friends, our classmates, our neighbors. Each loss leaves a void that cannot be filled, and each act of violence diminishes the safety and hope that we should feel in our community. Quote, give me 1 minute. It is truly concerning every morning I have to depart to school. As a student that has to walk to school, to a different campus to take classes that are of a more advanced rigor, it's a natural occurrence that I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't even feel completely safe standing at a bus stop. It's even gotten to the point that I have to purposely gotten Lyfts and Ubers to school. The state of not only our city, but the country has truly become concerning to me and my peers. A change must be incited in order to usher in a new age of prosperity and safety. End quote. Now, we recognize that gun violence is a complex issue influenced by many factors, including mental health, community resources, and access to firearms. However, we believe that there are concrete steps that our city can take to address these pressing issues. First, we urge the City Council to shed more light on community programs that are focused on conflict resolution and youth engagement. These programs can provide our peers with constructive outlets and a sense of belonging. These initiatives not only keep our youth occupied, but also help build a relationship that deters violence. Additionally, we encourage the Council to explore partnerships with local law enforcement and community organizations to facilitate gun safety education. Awareness campaigns that educate families about safe storage practices and the importance of reporting suspicious activity can empower our community to take an active role in preventing gun violence. Furthermore, students may be unaware of anonymous reporting or fear of retaliation if they report information. Because of the fear that some of the students may have, informing them of the various ways to report suspicious activity will be very beneficial. Now finally, we call for the establishment of a forum that includes youth representatives. Our voices are vital in shaping the policies that affect our lives. By including us in these discussions, you can gain insight into the realities we face and the solutions we envision. We want to be informed about the initiatives and the changes that are being implemented for our safety. This can be accomplished by delivering us news through resources such as the NNPS Canvas page, which is widely used by students, or by holding more school town hall meetings. In closing, we ask you to listen to our voices, to prioritize our safety, and take decisive action against gun violence in our city. Let us work together to build a community that protects and nurtures its youth, ensuring that our dreams are not overshadowed by fear. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to our community. We look forward to your support and collaboration in this vital endeavor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joy Johnson, then William Brown, then Noah Spivak. Well said, Giovanni.
Hello, I'm Joy Johnson, and I've lived on Corbin Lake with my family since 1985. In the 39 years that I've resided on the lake, many changes have taken place. The west end of Corbin Lake was 16 feet deep. Now it is less than 7.5. We can no longer navigate a vessel in the east end. That is the area behind St. Stephen's Church, and that hampers us from being able to clean up that part of the lake. And it also could be a breeding ground for mosquitoes. My children and grandchildren grew up using the lake as a playground. The quality of the water has changed so much that parents no longer want their children to even go in. Since 2014, the city has installed 6 additional storm drains on Corbin, Garland, and Woodruff Drive. Now all of the Prince Drew drains also go directly into Corbin Lake. In 2023, the new CNU building has increased the volume of water that's going into Corbin Lake. There is a large buildup of sediment at outflows where all of the pipes come in. If nothing else, why couldn't the city come in and clean out these areas? You already have an easement from those property owners. Our Lake Association was told in 2014 and again in 2017 that a complete dredge was needed. Why in 2021 was it determined that that dredge was no longer needed? Your website clearly states why you dredge and the benefits. The state of Virginia has codes the city has to follow. The city of Newport News has a separate stormwater tax that is to be used for stormwater management. The city has equipment to dredge. I've personally seen dredging done in lakes close to me, and you all have in the past dredged in Corbin Lake. The last dredge, however, was last done in 2007. St. Stephen's Episcopal Church has always allowed the city to come through their property in order to dredge. Why is there a holdup? For your information, the Corbin Lake Association has been part of the Lake Enhancement Program since 2012. We are also a Virginia non-stock corporation. I do not believe the city wants Corbin Lake to turn into a mucky swamp. The problems with Corbin Lake is due to the vast amount of outside stormwater and debris being directed into our lake basin. We understand we are a private lake, but it is our hope that the city will assist us in restoring Corbin Lake to its healthy former self. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
William Brown.
Hi, I'm William Brown. I live at Garland Drive on Lake Corbin as well. And what I'd like to discuss are some of the problems by having this much sediment and the oxygen level being very low. First of all, there's a lot of fish kills. In August of 2006, there were over 1,000 fish that died due to low levels of oxygen. The urban runoff of over 200 acres washed into the lake. It kills the algae, and the results of the decaying algae takes all the oxygen out of the lake and kills the fish. We've since experienced fish kills in May 21 and 23, and it seems like these events are happening more frequently. Also, when there's high pollen amounts throughout the year, that chokes the lake down as well and also kills the fish smaller. And I've noticed 2 of those this year. And I've only lived on the lake about 4 years, so within these 4 years, it's been a big education. There's just a bunch of kind of a swamp back there rather than a really a nice lake. There's also, secondly, an oily slime that's periodically visible on the surface of the lake, and this comes from the runoff of all the parking lots. Third problem is because of the increased runoff, the shallowness of the lake, which is sediment that's accumulating. As she said, on the east end near the church, if it doesn't rain for 2 or 3 weeks, it's just muck. There's no way to move around in that area. You can't walk in it, you can't get a boat in it, you can't clean it up. When it rains, that area fills up a little bit and just floats all the trash down into other people's property. Fourthly, it's important to realize there's a lot of amount of road debris that comes in from the parking lots. There's a Chick-fil-A there, and there's Chick-fil-A sandwich bags and cups and everything. And we do a pretty good job of cleaning it up, but because the sediment is so small in one area, it can accumulate there. And when there's a storm, it can get blown around. The Lake Enhancement Program, Newport News, has done nothing for Corbin Lake. We've had Mr. Long come out. He's offered some great suggestions, and we appreciate that very much, taking your time to come out and visit with us. The engineering department in Newport News has been a stumbling block. He was there was an engineer there for 3 of the meetings I was there, offered no good suggestions except join the Lake Enhancement Program. We've proven that being a part of the Lake Enhancement Program does nothing for your lake. They want to charge you money to put bubblers in to improve the oxygen levels, but we're a volunteer, 32 homes, volunteer organization. Who's going to pay for that? And right now, the best thing to do for that lake is to dredge it out and make it exactly like it was day one it was built. And that's the city policy that's currently on the website. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Noah Spivak.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Noah Spivak. I want to thank the mayor and the council for their time this evening. So you've heard from my neighbors already, about Corbin Lake. We do get 200 acres or 235 different properties, water and dirt and debris and everything coming into the lake. You've heard some of the issues that causes with fish kills, a lot of trash and debris, and the silt buildup, which has really led to diminished size and capacity of the lake. And in some areas, it's very swamp-like and smelly, and a breeding ground for mosquitoes. So the precedent is here. The city has dredged the lake at least twice that my neighbors are aware of, once in 1990, and then, as Joy mentioned, in 2007. We were told by the city in 2014 and again in 2017 that the lake needed dredging, and it was their intent to do it that year, and it never happened. And here we are years later, and we're now being told we can't dredge. We're not going to dredge. So I came across something on the Newport News website that says, dredging operations remove accumulated materials such as sediment and decayed vegetation from the bottom of a lake or pond. The materials removed to establish previous depths within the pond or lake. Erosion control and removal of sediment and decayed vegetation keeps the lake or pond healthy with respect to fish and plant life, avoids fish kills, algae blooms, and provides flood control with additional volume of water to be stored in the lake or pond. Recreational use of the pond or lake is enhanced as well as eliminating odors. So this is from the city's citywide lake maintenance and dredging program. It's on our website for Newport News. I can't tell you how much we agree with the statements I just read, and we're here to ask for your help in achieving some of these outcomes. Specifically, there are three things that we're asking for this evening. We're asking for your help to navigate the apparatus of city services. We're trying, but we're just not making any headway. We're asking to get Corbin Lake back onto the regular dredging schedule. We need it now, and it'd be nice to have a future projection for when it happens again. We shouldn't have to come ask again and again and again. And lastly, we're asking for help in improving the handling of the upstream trash, debris, silt, and other pollutants that are getting channeled into the lake. I know we're out there in boats picking up trash that didn't originate on any of our properties. It's all coming in from outside of our community. So again, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you. And I'll be, just coordinate with my staff. We'll give you a card. I'll come out there maybe next week and take a look. All right.
One question. What years did you say that the lake was dredged? 1990 and 2007?
I was told that it had happened in the, I've only been on the lake for 2 years, so I was told it happened in the 1990s. I was told it happened again in 2007. And it might have happened prior to that. We just don't know.
Could engineer pull that record to figure out
we can go back and
what
see
was the reason?
if we have records of that in our engineering department. We'll look for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll come out next week and we'll take a look at it.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah.
She's lived there a long
Yeah,
time.
no worries. We're good. All right.
All right.
Next up, we'll have Justin Kennedy, then John Rodenberg, then Gloria de los Santos. Cleon, just offline, talk to them. Not here.
Good evening. My name is Justin Kennedy. I'm currently a candidate for Newport News City Council in the Central District. I'm also an adjunct professor at Christopher Newport University. I had the opportunity as a professor at Christopher Newport University to speak with some of my colleagues about doing a study on gun violence in our particular city. And I was surprised at how excited that they were to kind of get started and kind of jump in right away. I understand that Christopher Newport has worked with City Council and also our great mayor to do some preliminary studies in the past. I'm very aware of that, but they believe that there's more work to be done. So I just wanted to present this to City Council and let you know that Christopher Newport is extremely excited about it, and I would like to collaborate with you in any way possible to do a study and a strategic plan to do something to curb gun violence in our city. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. John Rodenberg.
Mayor Jones, Vice Mayor Bethany, council members. My name is John Rodenberg, and I am from Versability Resources. We are one of the largest nonprofits here in the peninsula serving people with disability. We are one of the top 20 nonprofits in the country serving people with disability. We have a wonderful history here in the peninsula. We have our Day Resource Center. We have our community living facilities. We also employ 850 people across the United States, here in Norfolk, also in Yorktown, all the way to San Diego, as our employees are loading ships with food and also providing delivery of mail. On October 24th, we are going to be having a gala, and I want to personally invite each and every one of you to come to our celebration. We are pleased that Town Bank is providing a $50,000 sponsorship. It's going to be a wonderful event where we have philanthropists in the community, and we hope that you will join us. So, Mayor Jones, thank you. We are looking forward to your visit on Thursday.
I'm going to move it to the left 30. I need to be in D.C. now, so I'll move it to the left, but I'll be there Thursday.
All right, Mayor. We are looking forward to having you come, and we hope that you all join us on October 24th. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Gloria de los Santos, and then Anthony Fischella.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Just come a little bit, close. There you go.
I don't like to speak in public, but okay. I will do it for our children. My name is Gloria de los Santos. I'm the director of Kids Wish List. We do Christmas program for the kids, back to school program, shoe drives. The last 6 years we've been doing programs here and in Puerto Rico. 2017, we brought the off-Broadway play, Black Angels over Tuskegee, for the public school kids. 2019, we did the same thing in Hampton. The kids were able to see a play. They were able to learn about Tuskegee Airmen history, and they were able to meet an original Tuskegee Airman, Mr. Roscoe Draper, which was one of the first 10 African Americans they hired for the program. In October, I'm trying to bring Kings Harlem's is a basketball play about the first African Americans trying to make it in the basketball world. I requested help from the mayor's office for the funds. We are short $7,000. Anything that you guys could help so we could make this happen again. October 30th, they're supposed to come to the Ferguson Center. We will have a play in the morning for the public schools, in the evening, 7 o'clock for the community. I went 2 weeks ago to the Ferguson Center, spoke to the director, and he offered me to bring a play every year, and they will help with the cost. But we have to fund this one ourselves. The cost was $17,000. We already paid $10,000. Any help that you could give us, we will appreciate it. Thank you.
And what is the organization again?
Kids Wish List.
Kids Wish List.
Yes, ma'am.
And have you filled out an official
Yes,
request for the city?
I
Yeah,
did.
That's the request we didn't have the votes on today for Council Sharon Scott. That was
Oh, that one.
that's her
Okay,
proposal.
okay.
So we have that. We're going to act on it in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
And how much does she need? 7,000? 7. Okay.
And
Give them the 7.
Anthony Fischella, and then Barbara Fuchel, and then Brendan Johnson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I do work with ecological education through Earthbond U. First of all, I know sometimes your work must feel thankless, and I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for your dedication and work on behalf of us and our community here. Secondly, I mentioned last time I wanted to know if the City Council would sign the city's appeal for the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. I still await an answer for that. And now the main topic here I wanted to talk about is, again, plastic pollution. As I said last time, when we drink out of plastic bottles, we get twice as much plastic as when we drink out of tap water. And that means that a recent study showed that we get 240,000 microplastic particles on average per liter of water from plastic water bottles. And I see that most of you, not all, are still drinking from plastic water bottles.
I threw mine away after last week.
Oh, thank you.
I told you, man,
That,
you got me. I felt convicted.
Wonderful. And a lot of these end up on the streets and other places. Why should we care? A study this year showed the link between microplastics in our body and serious heart problems. That was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. You can look it up. So, something else happened between now and the last time I was here. I went to the recovery center right around the corner from here, and I bought 1 cubic yard of compost. And I filtered the plastic out of the compost that Newport News City sells. This is how much you get. About 1 tennis ball canister full of plastic per cubic yard of compost available through Newport News City. This is the largest piece of plastic I found, and there were millions of microparticles that I could not get because they're too small to see, because the city grinds up the plastic before removing it from the compost. Now, the federal government, the largest consumer of plastic in the world, has made a pledge to eliminate single-use plastic. Can Newport News do the same? And I'll make a deal. If you make a research team to see how to reduce plastic here at Newport News, including at Corbin Lake, then I'll donate my material for that research. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Barbara Futrell, then Brenda Johnson, then Carol Karkov.
Hi.
Good evening.
I'm Barbara Futrell, and I'm here because my son is an update. CPS did find it that he was abused, and they did put the man on 18-year abuse thing. But when we went to court, Police Chief Drew officer thought, I guess it was a game to, as in his words, crash my son's case. Since then, I have tried to talk to Police Chief Drew about the officer, and Detective June, who's now been upgraded to whatever she is, she thought it was a funny in the game too. She stood in front of the court and told them that she scammed through my son's case. My thing to you is I'm a tax dollar just like everybody else, and I deserve justice just like everybody else. Why was that? I deserve answers. My son deserves answers. And for the second part, I'm here because I want to start a petition and I want to start a campaign. And I've talked to VDOE Director Hank Millward about it, who also thinks it's a game. He did violate Ruby Ellie, who also forged a signature on the IEP of my son's without my acknowledgement and me being present. She gave herself permission to build my son's Medicaid up, which is giving my son a hard time to get Medicaid services because of so. I've talked to Attorney General about it, and because he controls the Medicaid, he won't prosecute. But I can prosecute because she signed my name, which is forging and eluding. And also, she met with me at Crackle Barrel and decided to give me hush money. I decided not to take it, but I taped her. And I have let the police hear it, but they've decided not to press charges. The big question is why? If you break the law, I don't care who you are, you deserve to go to jail. And I deserve the prosecutor with that being my signature that she signed. And since then, she has been on recording, admitting to everything she's doing and begging me for mercy. But my one question to her is, where was my son's mercy on February 20th? I am starting a petition and a campaign to shut down her school. She has been stepped down from a triennial license to a lower license. but she's still being able to practice the same, collect money from the school board, and also have the same amount of kids. That's a violation and that's a code. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Brenda Johnson?
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening.
council members, city representatives, and fellow citizens. My name's Brenda Johnson. I live at 834 Melrose Terrace. I'm 70 years old and I've never had a driver's license. I've used public transportation in cities throughout this country, Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and even the North Pole. I'm a public transportation advocate because I use public transportation, or at least I did until I came to Hampton Roads. I'm aware the individual cities used to run their own systems. I'm aware HRT came into existence to make things more efficient. I'm aware the state didn't fund transit in this region until 2020. I recognize this place is working behind the 8 ball. When I talk about how we go about addressing first mile, last mile, walkability, and other challenges, I'm always asked if I understand how much these things cost. My question is, how much is it costing us to run a dysfunctional transit system with a fraction of the ridership it should have? I recently participated in the Federal Highway Administration and Federal Transit Administration's certificate compliance review of the U.S. Department of Transportation Hampton Roads Metropolitan Area's transportation planning and programming process. That's a mouthful, but what it is HRPDC and HRTPO's federal quadrennial review. Transit was number 1 with a bullet on the list of concerns of the people that attended that session. As I told the federal team, we all need to look out for our least paid workers. If COVID taught us nothing else, it was that we depend on them for our very survival. If we can't all be humanitarians thinking about what their needs are, we should at least recognize it is in our best interest to ensure they can get back and forth to work, keep a roof over their heads, and afford childcare. Besides regional transit planning, my other concerns expressed at that quadrennial review were the lack of over-the-road semi-truck parking, passenger rail scheduling and access, advocating for Newport News Williamsburg Airport through GSA City Pair program and other initiatives, supporting the Newport News Transportation Terminal, and Newport News citizens' air quality concerns due to coal transport. In 2022, this city debuted a new strategic message built on breakthroughs. Newport News, indeed all of Hampton Roads, competes to retain and attract residents and businesses and increase opportunities. Until we get a better handle on public transportation, it's my opinion breakthroughs in those areas will continue to elude us. I'd like to work with the city in finding a way to involve more of us citizens in the transportation process and make Hampton Roads a more transportation-friendly organization. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. One sec, Dr. Woodbury, or Councilman Woodbury.
Yes.
I would like for you to take that presentation. I serve on the board of HRT, and I think you ought to make that to their, they meet monthly and have people who can speak, and I think you ought to take that to HRT's board.
I used to be part of HRT Citizen Advisory Council. I've been doing different advocacy things in the area. My problem with the area is that we're supposed to be a regional transportation, but we've got this Frankenstein hybrid transportation system in this area where part of it belongs to the individual cities, part of it belongs to the state. It's dysfunctional.
It's Greek city-states.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you.
No worries. Thank you, ma'am. Carol Karkoff and then Adana Allah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's good to be back. I'm Carol Karkoff, and I live in the Beechwood section of Newport News, off of Beachmont, at 197 Ravel Drive. I came to ask you for a suggestion that here at the Demi Community Center, when we have a meeting like this, or at any of the community centers, it's announced on the outside billboards so that people who don't take a newspaper or don't see the things on television see it in our community as we go up Warwick. I was just glad to see the TV sections. I come here Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning for exercise class. I am a frequent user of the community center, and we're very pleased to have this. I'd also thank you for allowing the great playground area that we have. My daughter brings our 3-year-old and our 7-year-old up here frequently. We do have a great playground and exercise area, as well as the basketball court. The weekends are always full on the basketball court, but we do ask that the city ask the park patrol to protect the equipment. Last Saturday evening while we were up here, there were older kids up here, probably I'd say 13 to 17 years old, and there was no adult companion to them. And it's not great when a larger kid gets on the blue covers that are on the nice equipment. So I just ask you to connect with the park patrol. It's not the police department, it's the park system. Also, as you live here, and I've been here 25 years now, our city has aged with trees, and they're big, they're tall. And 2 weeks ago, one of the tall trees on Beachmont fell, and across the street of Beachmont, the police had to block the area off up near Catalina for a day and a half. And there was no wind, there was no rain. The tree is just old and fell down. Weebles wobble, but sometimes they fall down. So I don't know if there is a way for topping the trees, but it would be great. I also want to praise Dominion Power Company for coming out to our area and taking care of the power. There were 4 trucks out there on Beachmont. I love my city. I love this place where I can come and be in a safe area. And I thank you, and I just want to know that areas are taken care of. Thanks so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Adana Allah.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good evening, sir.
City Council. I'm Adani Allah, a member of the Nation of Guards and Earths, also the director of a Law Community and Outreach Youth Center. I am located at 10531 Jefferson Avenue, Newport News, Virginia. Today, I have a program called the Boots Program that I like to present to the city of Newport News. And inside this Boots Program, it has a kind of like a BOOTTS, you know, it represents something. It represents building our own technical schools. Now, inside of this program is an alternative citizen. It is also a reentry. It is also a job training, leadership, development skills, all enclosed inside of this program. It's also for transitional housing, so that we can house those that are coming home from prison, so that they don't do what this young brother was talking about and the young black man that left with the gun violence. See, you want to stop the violence, you have to change the condition of the people in the mind. They have to be educated. If you don't educate them, then they're going to be wild. It's like keeping a dog chained up inside of a cage for so long and then you release them with nothing. This is what's going on with our youth today. They're being released at 18 into the streets, and only guidance they have is Lil Wayne. Only guidance they have is Lil Durk, all these different rap artists. No mentors, no brotherhood programs, no job development skills. So this is why you have overflowing of prison, overflowing of jail, recidivism rate. I present to the city tonight a way to stop it. I asked the city for a building in the city of Newport News so that I can teach and educate the youth. This program starts at 18 to 24. I chose that age group is because that's when our youth start to feel themselves. They done caught a bid if they in a less fortunate situation, or they done made a mistake and didn't want to go to college. So with that being said, I asked the city of Newport News to work with a law community and outreach youth center in cleaning up the streets, Ms. Vick. We're going to work with you. We're going to work with the neighborhood watch as well, because our neighborhood need to be safe. With that, I'm going to say peace.
And sir, if you just give all the papers to Ms. Washington, she'll take care of it. Thank you, sir. Our new business. Our next item is new business. Mr. Manager.
Nothing.
City Attorney.
Nothing, sir.
City Clerk.
I want to introduce the residents to our newest employee, Miss Stephanie Martin. Comes to the clerk's office through Texas. I want to wish the mayor and vice mayor a happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And I want to wish our city attorney and our city manager a happy birthday next week.
It's a good month. Councilman Woodbury.
I am not going to preach to anybody. I promise. This was a wonderful meeting, and I always love when our mayor has started implementing having city council meetings in other parts of the city rather than just downtown Newport News. And I think it's so important because that's when we really do hear. For somebody from the North District to come down to City Hall to speak, they have 40 miles or 45, 48 miles round trip just to have 3 minutes to speak. So I am so grateful that he is now having city council meetings in other parts of the city. I've been advocating for it for years. And so now that I'm retiring, it's going to get done, and I'm glad. Maybe that's what it needed all along. But thank you all for coming and being involved and being interested and loving your city. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Harris.
And I also want to thank everyone for coming out on tonight. I don't have much, but I do want to applaud this young man who came forward and shared with us on tonight, because I'll give him a round of applause, because I'm always preaching that we need to hear from our young people as much as we possibly can, because we have our perspectives for our generation, but what this generation going through is a lot different from the generation that I came up in, and we can't understand what you're going through unless we continue to hear from you. So thank you for coming out, and I see you have some of your peers with you on tonight. And Mr. Dart, thank you for all that you do with the programs with the young people, and I hope sometime soon that I could probably come out and visit you now and hear, just sit down and hear from you to let me know from your perspective. I do have an opportunity to work with young people from ages 6 to 14 on some of our youth programs, but also in the high school level, I know Chief Drew goes to some of the high schools to have his sessions. I know you mentioned that, having some teen sessions and hearing and having your voice heard on that avenue. But there's also a lot of youth programs that Mayor Jones and the council have been working to implement, and to make sure it's effective and efficient, we need y'all on board even more. So thank you for coming out, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Long.
All right, thank you. Always a pleasure seeing people come out to a council meeting, bring your concerns to our attention. Thanks for the Corbin Lake Association for showing up. We'll get some history, understanding really what's going on as far as dredging. And also, I was thinking, as I heard one other person comment, maybe this opportunity to bring sustainability a part of the conversation, to look at the age of a lake and lifespan of a lake itself. Also, I want to announce, I mentioned in last meeting, that on October 1st at the Marriott, there will be a childhood breakfast for the business community. Tonight we passed an ordinance for the home day facility. We passed authorization for the peak childhood, but there's still a need to engage the business community in a conversation on how do we create more affordable and quality child care operations here in the city of Newport News, but also in the Hampton Roads. So this breakfast that's going to be held on October 1st at the Marriott is for the business community. So if you have a business and that you want to be a part of it, please come out. The registration RSVP is on First Sparks and United Way's website. So please, October 1st, 8 o'clock at the Marriott, please sign up and come out. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Yep, I really don't have anything tonight, so I just want to say thank you all for coming out. I especially love when we have council meetings uptown because I just live 10 minutes away from here. But nevertheless, I'm glad everyone came out, and I look forward to seeing you in the community. All right.
Thank you. Gio, I just thank you again for coming out and for speaking. We have a few things we're going to take a look at going forward, especially when it comes to the intersection of youth and gun violence. And we're going to make sure that the Mayor's Youth Commission is always going to be a part of that. I agree with Councilman Harris. We need to talk more to the people that are impacted on a daily level, and that's you and that's your peer group. So thank you. Well said. And with that, we stand adjourned. Thank you.